All right, I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be a part of this annual event, taking time to celebrate the Jasper Chamber as we move forward with our goals and our objectives. This is the 72nd time the Jasper Chamber has gathered for an annual meeting, and how wonderful that all of you are here to be part of this today. And I believe that this crowd, nearly 400, is the largest attendance ever. I want to thank the businesses that stepped forward this year to help sponsor the event. The greeter table is Smithville. Something new this year, handing out the plates at the buffet line with Wabash Valley. The items at each place setting from Springs Valley Bank and Trust, and the cookies at each place setting from German American. And then thank you to the gold sponsors, City of Jasper, Meyer Distributing, Freedom Bank, Jasper Engines and Transmissions, Old National Bank, DuBois County Republicans, DuBois REC, Jasper Group, Kimball Electronics, Premier Property Management, Kirstein's Home Builders, Universal Design, Denton's Bingham Greenbaum, Deaconess Memorial Medical Center, Seifert Construction, the Jasper JCs, McDonald's, Ubelor & Sons, FC Tucker MG, Sang & Sang CPA, Vincennes University Jasper, WITZ as gold sponsors, and then our silver sponsors, Brookside Village, Cranberries, Exos, Hoosier Business Machines, Hoosier Hills Credit Union, Indiana Furniture, Dr. Leslie Kizior, Legacy Living of Jasper, and Matrix Integration. So thank you all for your sponsorship and allowing this to happen. Our business members and our board members are what keep us motivated and give us new ideas to keep the Jasper Chamber fresh and moving forward with new ideas. Dalton and Pedro will share some information with you in just a little bit. Although some members are recruited by ambassadors, we find the best members are many of those that just walk in the front door and they request a membership application. To me, that means the Chamber is active, we're involved, we're visible, and that businesses want to be a part of this organization and they want to be members. So I thank you, all of you who are here, for being members of the Jasper Chamber. Jasper is such a special community. It's a community that most folks throughout all of Indiana would just love to live in. And we all know that because most of us that are here live in Jasper. I encourage everyone today, if you're not involved in some kind of an organization, make it a resolution to get involved. Give back in some way that you're able to give back. Get involved in a club, an organization, a church, a school group, with something within your own business, something that you are passionate about so that you'll have a real desire to be involved. Give of yourself, your time, and give of your resources in any way that you're able to. A key person in the Chamber organization is the one that greets each visitor as they walk through the front door. Carolyn Gobert is that person for the Jasper Chamber. She's been our office manager for nearly 4 years. She's friendly, fun, courteous, efficient, and just an all-around great person. So Carolyn, would you stand so we can thank you for your service? Anyone in the group, in the audience here that is a veteran, please stand and be recognized. And thank you for all of your service. I would also like to recognize any elected officials who are here with us today. Please stand if you're an elected official or if you're here representing one. And thank you for your service to what other area or community that you represent. And I'd also like to give a warm welcome today to our friend and Indiana's First Lady, Maureen Braun. As president of our board, Dalton Minnie has had a busy year. He's encouraged board members to be more involved in events and activities and in recruiting new members. And Dalton has been present at almost every ribbon cutting and every function that we've had with the chamber. He's always making sure that the board meetings are fun, efficient, but also interactive. And we've had both in-person and virtual meeting options. We still do that, adding that balance when needed. And I want to thank Rebecca at Kimball Electronics for providing and facilitating that virtual option this past year. I'd also like to acknowledge Dalton's parents, Michelle and Gary Minnie. If you would stand, please, for raising such a fine young man. And also, I'd like to thank the Minnies for donating the flagpole and the flag for the South Side sign, which my husband, Gil, helps take care of, but he worked with them and they donated that to make that South Side sign an outstanding and really a welcome to the community of Jasper when people drive in. So thank you for that nice donation. Before Dalton tells us about this past year, I would like to present him with the President's plaque and the gavel. So Dalton, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Nancy. Without her, none of this would be possible. Nancy cares a lot about this community and makes this community a better place. So thank you. As you may or may not know, our board members serve a 3-year term. This year we have 5 members leaving the chamber. I'd like to thank them for their commitment to the chamber and helping it thrive. It's my privilege to introduce these members and present them with a plaque. I ask that you hold your applause to the end. Secretary Lisa Bauer, part of Jasper. Treasurer Mary Champion, Vincennes University, Jasper. Jason Hagan, Mara Distributing. Justin Rumbach, Master Brand Cabinets. Natalie Temple, Mara Distributing. I'd also like to recognize Rebecca Murder from Kimball Electronics as the outgoing Vice President. And I'd also like to thank Ms. Lynn Miller for serving on the chamber. Let's give them all a big round of applause. It's been a busy year here at the chamber. We've had 26 ribbon cuttings so far. These provide a great opportunity to support new businesses as they open the doors in Jasper. I'd like to thank our ambassadors for taking time out of their busy schedules to attend so many of these ribbon cuttings. If you'd please stand. The chamber is also excited to announce a new Welcome to Jasper fact book. These are located at everyone's tables. This book is filled with information on Jasper's history, services, activities, businesses, and much more. I would like to thank everyone who sponsored this book and made it possible. Any business would like more copies, please let us know. A big accomplishment the Chamber achieved this year was the creation of the Du Bois County Small Business Resource Office. This is done through a partnership with the Indiana Small Business Development Center. Through this office, we are able to provide counseling, startup, and existing businesses at no cost. This is made possible with the help of Ken Schnauz and Virginia Pado. If you'd please stand. They are able to bring their expertise and experience to help businesses thrive in Du Bois County. We've already seen sizable interest in these resources and are excited to see how they'll grow in 2026. It is now my privilege to announce the winner of the President's Community Excellence Award. Let me tell you, this was a very hard decision. We have so many wonderful applicants, we can only choose one. This individual has built an impressive career. They have worked their way up, becoming a part of their company's leadership team, and helped facilitate major change within their company and how it operates today. This person is a mentor and is committed to the people they serve. Looking back at all the nomination letters, one theme truly rings true when learning about this person: selflessness. This is evident through this person's activities outside the workplace. They sit on the board of directors for Crisis Connection, Work One, and are the St. Joseph Council Parish President. They truly believe in giving back to their community and making a better place. It is my honor to announce Jason Nord from Jasper Engines as the winner.
So I've been in human resources, or what we call people services, at Jasper Engines for 28 years, and my co-associates will share with you one of my phrases that I've used over the last 28 years is, the only time that I really like surprises, 2 times a year, my birthday and Christmas. You got me on this one. Thank you. I was starting about 2 to 3 hours ago, getting this weird feeling. And one of the odd feelings I was getting is when I texted my daughter, Allison, who I know you're here. She goes to college at Vincent University, and I asked her what she was up to today, and she said, not much. The Helicopter Dad app on my phone said otherwise. That was my first clue. The second clue, in my 28 years at Jasper, when we come to events such as this, we always ride together, and no one asked me to go with them this morning. So now it all makes so much more sense. I did not have time to prepare remarks, and I know there's a collective sigh of relief at the Jasper tables. I'll try to make this very brief. I've been taught by many individuals to always surround yourself with great people. And I've been blessed for 23 years to be surrounded by my beautiful wife, Renee, who I now see in the back. My 3 children, I see my mom in the back, my in-laws. Thank you very much for all of your love and support over the years. I thank my co-associate owners it's a true blessing to work with you every day. And I especially thank the Bobbles and the Schwanks, who have taught me so much over the years, both professionally and personally as well. Just looking around this room and our community, we are blessed because we have so many people who give their time, their talent, their treasure, their compassion every single day to make our community what it is today. So I am honored, deeply honored, to be a small part of this community and how we give to each other. And let's always continue that and continue to grow and strengthen our community. God bless you all. Have a great afternoon.
That's always like the best time of my whole year. The next board president is excited to take on this challenge and this honor. He will be sharing some ideas for moving ahead in 2026. He is dependable, works hard at everything he does, and is eager to encourage members to be involved and also willing to offer his own skills and services. I would like to introduce the 2026 Jasper Chamber Board President, Pedro Mendez.
Thank you, Nancy, and congratulations to Jason for such a wonderful award that he has been given. So very well deserved. Good afternoon. My name is Pedro Mendez. As Nancy said, I am the Executive Director of Mission Integration at Deaconess Memorial Medical Center. And I am honored to serve as President of the Jasper Chamber of Commerce in 2026. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the members of our 2026 Jasper Chamber Board. When I read your names, please stand and remain standing. And we ask you all to hold your applause until the end. Kim Hagan from All National Bank. Rebecca Murder from Kimball Electronics. Melissa Miller from Premier Property Management. Dalton Maney from Maney's True Value. Lisa Powell from City of Jasper. Kim Sager from Spring Valley Bank and Trust. Diana Bauer from radio station WITC. Aaron Kidwell from Mentors for Youth. Brent Seibert from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Kane Wigan from German American Bank. Sarah Gerber from Matrix Integration. Emily Fisher from Hoosier Hills Credit Union. Adam Watkins from Vincent's University Jasper. Luke Massenwhite from Mayor Distributing. Jill Warren from Master Brand. Thank you to all of them for contributing to make our Jasper community a better place. My family and I moved to Jasper in the fall 2023. We have had a wonderful experience with the people of Jasper. Your hospitality, attentiveness, and love are evident. And there is something that has caught our attention. And it is this. The person and their needs are first. And then there's always time for anything else. Let me illustrate this with an example. Just after buying our house in the Jasper area, my wife and I started the process of getting utilities and service up and running. There was a common response from several entities. Do not worry for the paperwork. We will first get your service, and you will have enough time to fill out the forms. And that happens. The services were ready when we came in on November 8, 2023, and the paperwork getting in the mail after a couple of weeks of coming here. There was trust. There was a trust relationship even though they did not know who we are. Isn't it what businesses are about? Of course, there's profit, regulations, protocol, policies, and expectation. But the goal of businesses is to contribute to the common good through services to people striving for fulfillment. Whether it is the owner, employee, client, or even the competition. Businesses in this sense are places that strive to help all people find their fulfillment by utilizing their talent, time, treasure, and compassion, just to echo what Jason just said. But we don't do this alone. We do it together. This is where the Chamber of Commerce plays a role by providing direction, information, resources, connections, and networks to help businesses succeed, grow, and prosper. Let me share 4 of the events our chamber has planned. First, in April next year, the Indiana Chamber President and CEO, Vanessa Greensinger, will be facilitating a launch and learn session as she goes across the state on her on-the-road tour. 2, for 20 years, the Chamber has sponsored the Home and Lifestyle Expo to showcase your company's products and services. Starting in 2026, the event will be called the Health and Lifestyle Expo, expanding the exhibition to include health-related products and services. So call the Chamber of Commerce soon to reserve your spot. Third, our chamber has established also the Du Bois County Small Business Resource Center to serve businesses effectively. This resource center offers counseling to start-up and existing businesses, as well as low-cost workshops to educate business owners or those considering opening a business. In 2026, these resource centers will expand their service hours, so please call the Chamber for more information. Lastly, please consider hosting a time out from business, which are opportunities to showcase your business to fellow Chamber members. I understand there will be 4 opportunities in 2026, so please call the Chamber if you are interested in hosting a time out from business event. I want to leave you with a word from sacred scripture, from Psalm 8, where the psalmist asks the following question to God. Quote, "When I see your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what is man that you are mindful of him? A son of man that you care for him?" Unquote. We know the answer to this question. God cares for all of us because He has created us in His image and likeness. And perhaps this is why in Jasper we put people and their needs first. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you, and thank you, Dalton, for all of your service, and congratulations, Pedro, for continuing on as the president next year. Now we're going to kind of regroup. We're going to, with the governor is here, and the Brian Schutt, he's with the Entrepreneur and Innovation Department. We're going to come forward here to do a little fireside chat, so give us just a few minutes to kind of reset. So I think it'd be easier if you went down and came up the front steps.
I've been joking that they all must have shown up to see me, to come hear me talk.
Between Dalton and I, we have a series of questions that we'll be asking the Governor and Brian. And maybe, Governor, I think we know a lot about your history, but Brian, we don't know so much about you. So perhaps we could just start with you giving us a little bit of your background.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I feel like I've never been here, but I feel like I'm coming home. I mean, just a beautiful introduction. Thank you for I guess, quoting something deeper. It takes some courage to do, and so I appreciate that. You guys are in good hands with this next president. I grew up in Indianapolis, son of a pastor and a nurse. I wasn't exposed to business growing up, but I was grateful to be mentored by a lot of people that believed in creativity. And so when the opportunity presented itself, I started a business with a friend from Purdue in 2008. And so we started a residential heating and cooling business. We grew and sold that in April of this year. In that process, I got into real estate and started a co-working space in Indianapolis in 2016. And through that experience, really got the opportunity to serve Main Street entrepreneurs. They were growing businesses from the ground up. We have a couple hundred businesses in our space. And so it was really through that opportunity that I got to see the catalytic impact that entrepreneurship can have on communities. And so when Governor Braun reached out and his team gave me the opportunity, I was excited to jump in and see if we could expand the impact of entrepreneurship to Main Street businesses across the state. So I'm about 4 months into the role. So we're still setting the foundation, but excited to talk to this group about entrepreneurship and the impact that it can have.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start off with, Dalton's going to ask the first question.
Okay. Governor Braun, how's your experience building a business here in Jasper prepared you to help job creators excel in Indiana?
So as I travel the state, of course, I visit all 92 counties each year. It's been surprising how nearly 20 of them said they've never seen a governor or a senator before. And those would be the probably 20 of our 92 that are looking for what we do here, to see how they can do it in their own community. Something's in the bloodstream here, the DNA. It's an entrepreneurial place. And I always say, based on faith, family, and community to boot. So much of what we got here is where people just do it voluntarily, and cumulatively gives you this place we call home. So being an entrepreneur, when that really wasn't a word we knew much about, back 50 years ago, I have to give credit to my wife, who wanted her own business, actually a clothing store, not a home accessory gift store. And I think she made the right choice there. That took us from actually going to Wall Street to come back home. Had we not done that, I wouldn't be here today. Maureen would have had her only job as her business at 505 Main Street. So it gives you a lot when I get asked, well, how are you adjusting to becoming a governor? Are you glad you're out of DC? To be honest, both of those were easy compared to running a business. I always say, when you love to have a business where you have no competition, you're the monopoly, wouldn't it be wonderful if your revenues were given to you every year and they go up 2 to 4%? So entrepreneurs are the kind of people that take risks. If you're not taking risks, you probably aren't going to be in the business of doing something out of the ordinary. So in getting Brian on board, it was just a blessing that we can then take what he just told you, what I've lived, and try to spread that across the state so that the 70 of our 92 counties that are looking to see how they can be like Dubois County, Jasper, Huntingburg, the communities within it, I think we've got an excellent chance of being able to do it.
I'm not sure which one's going to answer this question, but what is the purpose of the Office of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, and how will it help Hoosier entrepreneurs? Governor, this is probably your question since you developed the Office of Entrepreneurship and Innovation.
Well, I'm going to give you the reason I did it and then let Brian flesh it out for you. A couple things have changed. I know how hard we as a community had to look to get anything out of our state government. State governments always look out east to get things done. I'm a believer in skin in the game, pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, good things come to you. But Main Street has never been accented in this state. We've got one of the best environments for startups. And believe it or not, statistically, we got some of the fewest startups per state, per capita. And that confused me because we come from a place like here. The town's built upon the back of entrepreneurs. So I wanted to make sure Main Street small business was getting as much attention as the ones you spend a fortune to bring in. Every other state's competing for it. And then the other third leg, we still want some of them, but the emphasis is going to be on regions, their respective needs, small businesses within them, and then also what about helping the businesses that are already giving back to you, have been here and might need help. But I believe Main Street and entrepreneurialism is the most important part of the three. And I'll let you flesh it out in terms of what we're going to do with the Office of Entrepreneurship and Innovation.
You want to ask me?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, that was the next question that we're going to have teed up. What's the office going to do? So the governor set me up well there. Main Street businesses are where employment comes from. It's where growth comes from. Almost all net new jobs come from new businesses, and we do have one of the most fertile environments of any state in the country to be a business owner and be an entrepreneur. So we're going to be working on facilitating a more friction-free environment to become a new business start in Indiana. We're going to be working on supporting better growth for those existing businesses by facilitating the support systems that come around those businesses. So my office wants to be a support organization for support organizations. Those are the chambers of commerce, the business associations, the co-working spaces that are scattered across the state. Those are the ones that work with businesses on the ground. So we want to be supportive for groups like the Jasper Chamber of Commerce and provide you with the best information and resources available of any state in the union. And finally, those existing businesses, we know that there's this concept called the silver tsunami that has been talked about for about a decade, where aging business owners are transitioning out of ownership, and many of them, if the national averages map onto Indiana, about only 20% have a succession plan. So 80% of businesses are not making those steps of preparation for who's going to come next. And so this office is going to be keenly focused on trying to walk alongside those existing business owners, provide support systems for them to have succession plans, because we know what happens if they don't. They put smaller businesses at risk of just going away. And you all know more than anyone, those businesses that line main streets are the fabric of community. Those are the places that people go and find connection. We have no knock on big businesses, but community is made by locally owned businesses. So on the lower end, we want to help preparation so they don't go out of business. On the bigger end, there's a high risk of predatory private equity coming in if you don't have a succession plan. So we're keenly focused on this idea of preparing more businesses to sell and this idea of entrepreneurship through acquisition. So those are some big things that this office is going to focus on, and we've been really delighted to work alongside Governor Braun and his team as we get the foundation set.
One quick final note. The two positions that I took the most time to find the right individual would have been for the Indiana Office of Technology. I was a foot dragger on that for many years and believed that it was a differentiator that took us from a local business to then a regional and then a national company. So we got a good individual there, but the most important one was your spot because of how much I believe in small business, Main Street. So those were the two hires that took the longest to get the right people. So looking forward to see what you can do.
Thank you.
All right, so Governor Braun, could you describe what Power Up Indiana is and how it helps employers upskill their employees?
So Power Up is the first thing I did when I came to state government. Imagine if you had a business of 30,000 employees and you've got 70 subdivisions, and your organizational chart had the CEO and then the assistant to the CEO. That was our state government. So we had 70 divisions kind of running on their own, and I organized it into 8 cabinet positions with entrepreneurs that have government experience with emphasis on the former. We are getting so much done, and I'm citing this because we got a Secretary Dave Adams that is the Secretary of Commerce. His idea, not mine. And that was how difficult it is to find employees when your unemployment rate like ours is probably under 2% in town, 2% of the county. You got to look at your own people. And this is to incentivize that if you'll train from within, the state will invest up to $5,000 if you're raising the pay by 25% and you're investing in the training to get the skills to where you find among your own employees that individual rather than trying to recruit. That is the whole point of Power Up. It's just one of the things that no other state has done, and that was a brilliant idea from the Secretary of Commerce. That's what that's about. We're going to incentivize that because that's a hell of a return on investment.
Okay, thank you.
Governor Braun, your unique approach to economic development. Can you describe that and how the different regions like Southwestern Indiana?
So we've got 15 regions in the state, and the synergy from it is going to be great because of the 15, they each will have a different set of skills, comparative advantages. So we're looking again regionally so that not all the stuff happens right there in the middle of the state. Also, I cite, we're an oasis of prosperity. I think Columbus, Indiana would be. Clark and Floyd counties, they're the best part of the Louisville metro scene. Evansville. Then I'm having to think, where are you going to go? Of course, it's the bubble counties around Indianapolis. You've got Fort Wayne, who used to be our 3rd largest city. Gary was our 2nd. And that's a place that's probably got more dynamism than any place in the state, but the needs are different. So I'm going to try to look to see what they do well, enable them, and then get the whole state performing better. And I don't think you do that by painting the state all with the same paintbrush. So that's going to be the foundation of economic development. What I said earlier, Main Street, small business, existing businesses, getting the best of the new ones, and then making sure we recognize the differences around our state, add them all up to where it adds up to more than the individual pieces.
Okay, when reforming the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, the IEDC, you mentioned your North Stars would be wage growth and new job opportunities. Why is that the focus for economic development in your perception?
If I forget to tell you what we've accomplished there already, because I'm going to give you a little setup to what I inherited as the leader of the state, it would have been an IEDC that had no transparency, that I had to call for forensic audits to make sure that we were going to not keep going down that pathway. I was also blessed with that whole big discussion on property taxes. So the main difference between being a governor and a senator is you're going to be at the focal point of any field fire within your own state, and I welcome that. And in this case, when it comes to what I was trying to do on economic development, it was have the board made up of regional members. The last 3 I've selected to go on there would be from Southern Indiana, because again, we generally aren't in the mix. We're not tangling. So it was an entity that did okay, but it didn't have transparency. I'm a believer in transparency. There'll be full transparency now, and you're going to see that there are 4 corners to the state based upon the 3 legs I talked about earlier. So it's now reconstituted. I completely changed the board because when it had to go through a forensic audit to see what the heck it was doing, that wasn't a solid foundation to build upon. And again, entrepreneurship is going to be a big emphasis of it. So that has been fixed, and we just filled out the board recently with the last members from Southern Indiana.
And you also appointed a new director, Josh Richardson, so.
That too?
He was actually going to be here today, but he had to cancel it.
No, he's a guy that's got a stellar record within state government and believer in transparency, and he is going to pay attention to the rules and the new strategy we have in place.
Great.
What are your focuses for the next regular legislative session?
So it'd like to do something other than property taxes, the IEDC. Now it's high utility rates. That's a symptom of what we got from DC in 22, 23, and 24. We were delivered 25% inflation. This whole discussion about issues we're dealing with now unequivocally was given to us by an administration that believed in government and growing it more than what we believe, and that's the private sector. So I'm going to try to focus on what all states are trying to get right. How do you build your own infrastructure? That's generally going to be financed mostly by the federal government on an 80-20 split with states. That's arguably our one inherent advantage, is where we are. The fact that we're the crossroads of America, and I was part of Community Crossings back in, I think, 2016 or 17. That's gotten rural America with good roads, smaller towns. So we need to keep marching forward on infrastructure. If we don't have it, we lose the comparative advantage our state and our regions would have. That's a question of financing mostly. We're not going to do that through fuel taxes or conventional user fees. We're going to have to be creative. The biggest issue that I took on, the proudest of anything, was when I fixed healthcare in our own business 17 years ago. I don't think Christy Nykum is here today, but she was a pioneer, and I sat in on that renewal meeting. And when I heard how much the insurance companies were making on small businesses, asked the agent what her commission was, and then found out they're basically promoting a system of expensive remediation, not wellness and prevention. We are getting all kinds of headway already, even though I couldn't orchestrate any of that legislation. It's the single biggest thing that we want less of, and it's constituting almost 20% of our GDP. So healthcare and our version of helping the federal government on Medicaid is the biggest part of busting the budget. So that's poking the bear. That's a big industry. I think we'll get there. I actually got Bernie Sanders to sign as a co-signer on a transparency and competition bill in the U.S. Senate. That's damn near a miracle. Other than that, I was a little careful. Did I want to be on a bill with Bernie? When I told Bernie no more government, fix the underlying issue, he bought it, and now that bill is being reintroduced by John Hickenlooper and Roger Marshall. So infrastructure, healthcare. We are already knocking it out of the park in education. The country is looking at what we did to give parents the ultimate options on how they're going to educate their kids. We are blessed with a wonderful public school system. I remember early on in my state rep tenure when they closed down the best grade school in neighboring Pike County, and now it's the Otwell Miller Academy. Thank goodness they were enterprisers and had choice to overcome it. We have done so many things in education, and I got lucky with Katie Jenner, that was from the Holcomb administration, that was already doing it. Had a lady from Montana that came all the way in because they're looking for things to do, and she's been an education advocate and kind of one that writes articles, cited Indiana as the place that there's more going on in education, post-secondary and K through 12 than any other place in the country. And that, by the way, K through 12 is 50% of our budget. Supporting public institutions, including Ivy Tech, is another 15%. And now Medicaid is starting to crowd a bunch of that stuff out. So those three things, and let's throw utility rates in there. That's something that you're going to have to handle as governor. And I can guarantee you, I'm replacing the IURC over time. I'm making 3 appointments to it where they're going to know what the hell a ratepayer is. And we got to have electric generation, but we got to make sure you can afford to pay the bills. And if we really want to drive our Indiana economy, you're not going to put a data center next to Indianapolis. One just failed when Google worked on it for 3 years, but we probably have 70 counties that would love to have a data center in their county, see their property taxes go down by a third, maybe even approaching 50%. So you got to know the mix of what we need and navigate through all that stuff and keep your wits about you as you do it. So I'll rest with those four. All the other stuff I think would be somewhat secondary, but we will not miss anything because I got an entrepreneurial cabinet that would be looking for anything, inviting all of you to bring stuff to us, because if we don't know it, we want to hear about it.
Thank you.
And it's a short session also, so that's a lot to get accomplished in a short amount of time.
And we almost wore them out in the last session, so we're going to back it off a little bit, but buckle up for 27.
I'm going to split this last question between the two of you. So Brian, we'll let you answer this first. What's the most important lesson that you learned from building a business that can apply to the current job that you're in?
Yeah, I'm a big believer that action is the best course to learn the right way to do something. So too often, you can sit back and using a baseball analogy, wait for a perfect pitch. But oftentimes there's no perfect, and so you're going to get better feedback loop by taking steps, learning how you did it wrong, and moving forward with confidence, but intelligently, because you're learning from each step that you take. So I'm just a big believer in that sort of iterative loop of being bold and taking steps and then learning as you go. And it requires a degree of humility to know that you're going to do things imperfectly, but the courage to keep on moving forward. So I think that's a lesson that I try to apply. I'm laughing because I'm a once again new parent. I have a 13, a 12, and a 2-month-old. So I'm being reminded of the sort of usefulness of the entrepreneurial pathway as I fumble through this process of being a parent of a newborn again. So it's broadly applicable, not just to the job and government.
Well, good luck in finding some sleep. Governor, so to pose the last question to you then, what's the most important lesson from building a business that you've drawn upon as governor of Indiana?
Get pretty good at finance. My friend Mark Schrader is here, classmates, and he thinks I bring it up too often, but 100% of my financing was with bankers, and especially community bankers, because I figured if I was going to put that much effort into it, why dilute equity over time? Never would sell to private equity in terms of if you got a good business going. But I also advise on the finance side, get a line of credit when you don't need it, because when you need it, you won't be able to get it. Would you agree with that, Mark? Okay. So that also means, I'm going to say most small businesses don't realize it, but they built their business and their balance sheet on these two things: hard work, sweat, equity. And then, you know what else they've done? I was in a trailer for 17 years, and a Quonset hut is a warehouse. I got real good at low overhead. And don't forget your roots. Reinvest every penny back into it. Don't ever, like our federal government, try to live in the present by borrowing from the future. That is so stupid. That is no business plan. And of course, we would never do that here in this community. So finance is generally what's going to trip you up. A lot of times, it's a 90% fatality rate, I think, to get to the 10-year point. And many struggle with revenues and expenses. If you're not good at expenses and controlling, you're probably not cut out for it. But the two things that are by far most important as an entrepreneur for me, I mentioned it earlier. Don't think you're going to get there without taking risks. If you're not taking risks and sticking your neck out, I think you'll be disappointed down the road. And then when it comes to how do you grow the business, the hardest part of it, I mentioned it earlier by comparing it to government when they give you the revenues. I was always more interested in not what was paying the bills currently, but what was going to pay the bills 5 to 10 years down the road. So whenever we were knocking it out of the park in one thing, I was looking to see what the next act was going to be. It's symbolic it's metaphorical of our state, where the rural communities that always have an agricultural presence, it's important because it is the second biggest industry in our state, next to manufacturing and logistics and healthcare, which we want to be lower because we're not going to use as much of it in the future. But make sure you're looking for revenues once your business starts going, because it's so easy to get caught in the cul-de-sac of not doing it, and then you wonder why you're not growing that company over time. Take risks, look for new revenues, have it as part of your DNA, controlling expenses. Don't forget what got you to the dance floor in the first place.
Thank you. It looks like we have some competition for Ken Schnass as a business advisor. Well, that's all of our questions for today. We want to thank Brian Schutt and Governor Mike Braun for being our special guest here at the Jasper Chamber 72nd annual meeting. We want to thank all of you for attending, and now guess what? It's time to go back to work. So thank you.
Thank you.